Hello class. What we're going to be working on today, we're going to be refining our 1-point perspective drawings. So this is a more finished version of what I want you to do, except for on yours I actually wanted to have more boxes, more cubes than this drawing. A couple things I want to point out. When you return to your drawing, I want you to look at the horizontal lines. Okay? You should look at these lines, and they should all be running parallel, nice and even. I also want you to look at your vertical lines. Notice how every single one of these vertical lines is nice and even. Okay? Nice and even this way, nice and even this way. All these lines that are receding into space are converging at the vanishing point. Also, I want to point out how clean the edges and how sharp the drawing is. This is what I want you to push your drawing towards. So as we start filling the space up, I want you to darken one side of the cube. So for this one, I darken the tops, and then the sides are a lighter mid-value gray. But again, it's all nice and sharp, crisp, clean edges. And I'm going to show you a couple pointers and how to achieve that in your drawing. Okay, so I'm going to show you just a couple habits, good habits that you want to pick up as you're working on this assignment and as you're drawing. And then I'm going to show how to take some of these habits and apply them to the project that we're working on. All right, so say we have, this is our horizon line, 1-point perspective. So let's say I decide I'm going to put a cube over here. Very rarely will I just do this, call it a day. Because what's going to happen is, if I make those marks, you can see they're a little off. You know, they're not nice and straight with this horizon line. And I want to make sure everything is nice and even. So very rarely will I just pull a mark and it just be perfect. What I want you to get used to doing is finding lines. So I'm resting my hand on the paper a little bit, and I'm just lightly finding that line. And I'm gradually taking it darker. See that? It's a more accurate line than if I just do, this. Sometimes I might get that just right, but a lot of times it's going to be a little wobbly. If I do this, I can find the line. Another thing I can do is when I go to clean up the drawing, I can use my eraser and I can tighten and sharpen that line up. And sharpen up the edges by erasing into it. So I want you to get in the habit of finding the line. See how far off that first one was? This right here? I can just erase that away. So another drawing tool that I want you to be using today is your eraser. It's as much as a drawing tool as this. Even though I'm erasing, I'm still thinking about straight up and down. I'm using this very much like a reductive method of drawing. All right. I want you to stand back from your drawing and take a really good look to make sure that everything is going nice and even. This is actually kind of tilting up a little bit, so I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. So that looks pretty good. So I want you to shade in one side. So let's say the bottoms and the tops of these cubes, we'll make them really dark. So when I'm shading things in, I'm basically doing this. The more I go over, the darker it gets. If I change direction slightly, it gets even darker. Now you notice when I'm doing this, it's okay if I go outside the lines a little bit because I'm going to tighten it up by erasing it away anyways. I could sit here and really, really be very careful, get into the lines, get into the edge, but I want to be a little more efficient, so I'm just going to block it in. Block in the value. Okay, darken the sides. Even as I'm doing this, I'm still refining these edges. Okay, I think I'm ready to tighten this up a little bit. So I'm going to go to use my eraser. I can still kind of see this still looks a little wonky. Also, the whole time you're drawing with your materials, no matter what they are constantly changing shape because you're using them and they're changing shape as you go along. So you have to kind of also be kind of aware of what your tools are looking like. Like I have a pretty rounded edge on this eraser now. So I might take a razor blade, or if I have an X-Acto knife, and I'm just going to cut it here so you see. And I might just slice that. So I have a nice sharp edge on my eraser. So be meticulous in your when you're cleaning everything up. Okay, so this is the drawing that I did in class on Monday, and kind of in the same position that your guys' drawings are in. It's a good start, but there's still a lot of work to do. Lots of work to do, lots of cleaning up, lots of reevaluating and reassessing the drawing. So you're coming back to your drawing today with fresh eyes, which is a good way to be, right? Like I said, all your drawings were good starts, but there's things that need improvement. They're vertical lines, that they're all consistent, they're straight up and down. You can look at the edge of the paper and compare to the edge of the paper. If they're leaning this way or leaning this way, they need to be straightened up. Also, same thing with the horizontals. If you've got lines that are going like this or like this, it's no good. We want everything to be nice and even, straight. Also, make sure you're checking these lines, the ones that go to the vanishing point. I can tell, because I'm reassessing this drawing right now, that this line is off. I can tell it's off because if I keep going, it doesn't even come anywhere near the vanishing point. So I need to look over that line again and make sure it connects. Okay? And then I need to go back and I need to erase this part off. That looks much better. So you got to do that with every single one that you already have on your drawing. Also, I want you to fill this up. I want it to have almost twice as much going on. And this is of your imagination. You can choose where the placement is, what the size of the block is. I'm going to show you, like, okay, so maybe I need something over here. I don't have anything over here. Maybe I'll put it behind this block. So instead of drawing the whole face, I'll just draw the part you can see. And I'll connect it. Okay? That's what I'm talking about, like just filling it up. You don't have to fill up every single open space. We still want some negative space to make these things pop out a little bit, make it interesting. You see, I put a window in one of mine. You can do that. You just follow the same exact rules. Put a little hole there. I just got to connect this corner like that. Darken the bottom. I want you to put the bottoms and the tops, make those the darkest side, And then the sides to the left and the right, we'll do like a half mid value. Mid value is just that. You'll hear me use that word all semester. Middle value is just the difference between the darkest and the lightest. The lightest is the color of the paper. The darkest is, well, that's the darkest thing I have right now. So somewhere in the middle. So this is still a 1-point perspective exercise, but I still want it to be, you know, an aesthetically pleasing drawing. Meaning, you can appreciate it for the shapes, you can appreciate it for the composition, you can appreciate it for the craftsmanship, you can appreciate it for the line quality. These are all things that we respond to in a positive way when we're looking at drawings. Anyways, I just want it to be nice, crisp, clean drawing. That's what we're going for, okay? All right, so I'm going to go over, add a little bit more to this. I'm going to ramp this up on high speed so you can see like how much work goes into refining the drawing. Well, I'll see you on the other side, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to stop here for now. So I just want to show you, so I went through, cleaned everything up a little bit more, sharpened everything, started to add, some more cubes in here, and I'm going to continue to keep refining the drawing. So what I want you to do for class is just what I did here, and you're pushing the drawing forward in both accuracy and in craftsmanship. Take your time, go slow, refine. You're getting acquainted with the materials. Take care.